Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Your message, the messages of inspiration and hope is proudly brought to you by the good guys at the 6 Minute Webinar. Today, we got a very special guest with us, Tamara L. Hunter. She is part of our family, and I always call her just Tamara Sue because she's that special to me. And wait till you hear her story. She's a cancer survivor. This lady has really got a heart the size of Texas. She created co-founder of the Chemo Buddies for Life. We're going to share a lot of that information. She's also got a TV show right here on E360 TV, Service Heroes. And I'm telling you, you are in for a treat. But we'll be right back right after this brief message.
Hi, and welcome to the Messages of Inspiration and Hope show that's proudly sponsored by the 6 Minute Webinar. Today we have some exciting and very interesting guests, real people just like you and me. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Now here's Jim.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And the young lady that helps keep me straight, she's one of the key people behind the scenes here at the E360 TV on our show, is none other than Donna Guinois. Donna, welcome to the show, young lady. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, Jim, and it's awesome to be here again. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And you know our guest, you probably have known her longer than I have. Oh my goodness. When I tell the people out there they're in for a treat, they're in for a treat, aren't they, Donna?
Absolutely. Tamara, I have known her, oh my goodness, it's been at least 3 years now. I met her shortly after I moved back to Arizona. And, you know, from the moment I met her, we had a connection. Her heart is actually bigger than Texas, Jim.
Yeah,
her heart is huge. She touches every life of anyone she meets. She touches them in such a positive and beautiful way. As, you know, a co-founder of Chemo Buddies for Life, being the next global impactor.
That's
she
right.
is a best-selling author, and she has written a song, right? And, you know, as well as being a host here on E360 TV, like you said. I mean, she just doesn't stop. So I am super excited to bring on stage Tamara Hunter.
Oh my goodness. I tell you right now, Tamara, it is a wonderful pleasure to have you on here. And just like before we started, we practiced, and you girls ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi, Aaron.
I love it.
Aaron Hymas is the president of E360 TV, and he was going to pop in this, you know, just for a little while today and say hello to us. And, you know, because we had Tamara Sue Hunter here, Tamara L. Hunter here on the show. But I've got to tell a story. This is how the messages of inspiration and hope became a reality and became a TV show on E360 TV. I've known Tamara for about 3.5 years or so. And Tamara knew that we were putting on the Messages of Inspiration and Hope series. It was a webinar series. We started it on during the pandemic. All we had was Zoom and Facebook Live. But we took what we had and we went forward. And we were wanting to just have people come on and share inspiring stories, some of the things they overcame in their lives, and try to reach out and help people in their hour of need. And this started back in March. And then along around late October, Tamara and I had a conversation early one Saturday morning, about 5 a.m. and Central Time. And she asked me, she says, Jim, would you like me to introduce you to the folks over at E360 TV? And I said, okay, yeah, sure. And so she introduced us and introduced them to what we were doing. And I imagine they looked at the show and all that. Then she introduced us to Aaron. And Aaron and I have had a lot of conversations. We've become great friends. He's a wonderful person, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what. And that's the reason why this show became a TV show. And it had nothing to do with me, even though I was a host on the original webinar series. It had everything to do with the value from the heart of reaching out and trying to help people in their hour of need. That created the energy in the heartbeat.
Mhm.
And Donna looked at me and she says, Jim, you need some help. So that's why Donna's with us today. And my goodness gracious, Donna, Tamara Hunter is just, oh, she just tops the chart when it comes to giving from the heart, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And whether it's just, helping somebody, give them a smile, a hug
Mm.
because they're down, or helping them with, not being alone in one of the most trying and challenging times of their life when they are undergoing any kind of cancer treatment, or really any other treatment that is out there that's detrimental.
Yeah, and also any life-threatening disease. She just opens
Mhm.
up her arms and she says, come and dine, we'll feed your needs. And Tamara, I'd like to just give you the opportunity just to introduce yourself a little bit, share some of the things that you about yourself and what you do with the audience, please.
Wow. Well, after listening to the two of you guys, I'm like, whoa, I want to meet this girl. Yeah, thank you. I'm humbled by your words. I'm a girl, your next door neighbor from Southern California, that grew up not able to speak when I was younger because my mouth wasn't even formed right, and I was lucky enough to have the kind of mom that said, you can do anything. Whatever you choose to do, you can do anything. And so life happens, and yes, I became a cancer conqueror, warrior, survivor. And in that process, I met the co-founder, my original buddy, to a nonprofit that we are now taking out to the world. We have taken out to the world. And that I say all roads lead back to the buddies, because my survival, my absolute walking on this earth right now, I believe, is completely due to the fact that this is a mission. It is a cause. It is something that is more than, if you will, it's a need. No, it is absolutely my calling in life. And so I have dedicated my whole life to making sure that we end isolation. and
Mhm.
and it's interesting that we're in a pandemic and we were ready for it. I don't mean to say that lightly, because
Mhm.
you both know that our platform is one that, and the way that we support people it's through the internet, which is crazy because I thought you had to buy hashtags back in the day. And so, and so that again shares that anybody can do anything that are that they feel a calling for. And so what has now happened since I've met both of you, and you both have been there and supported myself and our cause since nearly the beginning, and I appreciate both of you so very much. And when you're building something that's never been done before, it's huge.
Oh yeah.
Truly, everyone in the world needs the buddies, and it every single day that goes by and we don't have this program out there is a day I feel like, okay, we need to get out there, because there's many someones that are feeling very isolated and alone today
Right.
because they're getting a call, and we're changing that. And so we just actually recently we just had 36 hours on the E360 TV platform live, and we called it the Tour of Love, and that kicked off the new show that we just started. So I had the Service Hero show on E360 TV, that's mine. However, then you could say I'm the executive producer of now the Tour of Love show that we have started on Sundays at 9 o'clock in the morning, noon Eastern. And it is all dedicated to helping to raise the frequency of the world through love and
Mhm.
educating that we can make a difference
Yeah.
one buddy at a time. So that's what I'm up to.
Yeah. I tell you another thing too, Donna. I remember back when Tamara was, in this running, you might say, for the Next Impactor. You know
Oh,
what?
yes.
You want to know what the big question was? Who was going to finish number 2, number 3, number 4? We knew who the winner's going to be.
Right?
And she won that award.
Absolutely. Yes, she did. And was the first one to win it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. From what I understand, from what I'm hearing, is that they have to rework it a bit because of COVID. They had hoped that by 2021, COVID would be, gone. And hopefully it will be here soon. However, the title is a 2-year title, and hopefully we'll have the Next Impactor, the global Next Impactor, up and going this next year. And then there's the Impactor right there, my trophy, and I get to keep that one. But the whole idea is that the Next Impactor will then be crowned and be the Next Impactor for 2 years. And the whole idea here is that, and I love this program. I love this brand because it's to say that we can have a variety show and we can have it be, I love music. I just wrote my first song, co-wrote a song. However, the idea that we can have TV, good TV, and a reality TV about changing the world and bringing resources and programs and causes that are going to get helped by these impactors, I can support that all day long. And the reason that I got involved, of course, was because of the buddies. So I am looking forward to this next season. Yes.
Oh, I bet so. And for those out there that may not know exactly what the Next Impactor is, what the duties are, what the expectations are, would you share a little bit about it, please?
Sure. It started. It started at this time. Actually, it would be now 3 years ago that we put our name in a hat, and then it really got going in January. And for 8 months, there were people that from all over the world. We had over 200 people from all over the world that all had a cause to say, I can make the world a better place. I can impact the world for the better with whatever it is that they were doing. It could be a nonprofit. It could be a service that they bring to the world. Whatever it may be, they believe that they can actually make a difference. And so then it became a race against time, not against each other, a race against time. And so it started with the 200. And then in April, it went down to 50. And then I think it was June, it went down to 25. And then at the end of August is when the 25 went to Chicago to the Stan Mansion and had a beautiful black tie event, gorgeous event, of which then there were 5 standing, actually 6 because one's a couple. The top 5, we were all up on the stage and started with the 25, then up to the top 5. And then they started whittling it down. And then they called number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2 never got called. I always felt bad for Emily. And then they called my name, number 1. And I'll never forget how that felt. Time just kind of went really slow at that moment. And my first thought was my mom. It was like, we did it because she's the reason, she's my why behind the why of what I do. And it was like, okay, we're going to make the world a better place. And it's been a wonderful platform because what the whole idea is that by then we had really gotten the buddies to be pretty solid in the United States yet. And we were starting to go into Canada, but we really hadn't gone global. I had a senior ambassador that started the work to go global, yet we hadn't really gotten any type of global exposure. Well, now 2 years later, nearly 2 years later, I have an article that's in an international magazine every month. We have at the Tour of Love event that we just had, we had people from all over the world that were a part of it. We are now solidly getting our message out there. and letting people know that we can make a difference, because if we don't unite right now, this is the reality of it. If we don't unite in 2020, that by 2030, we think we've got it bad when it comes to cancer right now. Trust me, look it up on Google, and you will then want to join us, because we can really make a difference. We have the programs, we know what we're doing. You both know what what we have been up to, and it's time, and I'm so optimistic. Absolutely, I know that we are making a difference, and it's that one. It really boils down to the one. And so, right now, here you've got my website right there, tamaralhunter.com. However, if you go there and you need a buddy right now, go there and then go to cb4l.org. Go onto that, and it will take you. It's like a portal to our website, and we'll be there to help you every step of the way, because that's what it's all about. It's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Tamara, if I can interject on something, and you'll understand when I say I have to differ with you on just the one, because when somebody is going through such a difficult time in their life, it doesn't just affect them. It is a ripple effect through their entire family. So when they have that support, it makes the support, their immediate support system, much easier to deal with, because they have somebody who has been there and is holding the hand, if you will, of the person going through it. So when you say it's just one, it's much more. It's a trickle down effect.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that, because truly, I'm saying it's the one, because it's when you're in the middle of it, it feels like you are it, right? However, we are healing through connections, and it is a buddies program. It is a community program. So what we say is a threefold. Healing through connections. First, we need to connect with ourselves. And so many people, and you know this so well, Donna, and what you do with, your programs, in that we can be working against ourselves and we might not even know it. So we need to be doing the healing within ourselves, then healing through connections with buddies, and then healing through connections within a community, because community has been found to be one of the things that really, if you're going to live longer life, they call some of them blue zones. They have all sorts of different things, and it's been scientifically proven, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, that if you are isolated and you keep yourself about the one, see, that's where it starts with the one. And I'm so glad that you're helping to talk about it and bring it out into the light, is that you may feel as though you're the only one. And it's about you. However, we want you to come into the light. We want you to connect with all of us, because in doing so, it's been scientifically proven. It's in medical journals. We need to really understand that this is not hocus pocus. This is real, that you can actually not only have a better quality of life, you can actually scientifically have a longer life if you connect with others.
Yes, because we're definitely social creatures. And I didn't want to interrupt you there, Tamara, but I wanted to say that a young lady by the name of Helene Wilson, she just said, "Hello, Tamara L. Hunter," and she wanted to give a shout out to you. So we wanted to give you a chance to say hello back to Helen.
Helene is in fact, she's our first ambassador of the chat, is what we call Helene. And she's actually one of my buddies. And you see, because we have a community that our buddies actually serve each other. We are completely, right now, this next year, I'm really hoping to get to a point where we do actually have some employees to help with our programs, because we're at that point where we need them. However, we right now are completely 100% volunteer based. And our buddies, actually, many of them are the volunteers. So we serve each other. Helene is one of our volunteers, and she is actually one of our buddies, one of my buddies. And so, love you.
One question I'd like to ask you, for those out there that's been viewing and all, If someone was interested in becoming to compete in the Next Impactor, where would they go? Where would they go to? Could you share that with us?
Yeah, that's a great question because I really don't have the answer yet. You could definitely ask me. Lauren Harris, who is one of the show hosts here on the E360 TV platform, and he's actually one of the assistant producers of the whole E360 TV platform. He is one of the co-founders of the Next Impactor, the Next Global Next Impactor program. And so I would go to Lauren Harris is what I would do. And I'd say, okay, Lauren, where do I sign up? Let's get this rolling, because he did go on Service Heroes, my show, and make an announcement that there would be the second season. Now, I don't know if because they were really hoping that COVID would be at a point where we could do, because of some of the type of programs that they ran, it would be kind of harder to do with COVID. However, it could be done. Right. And so I don't know if maybe I'll be a 3-year champ. Who knows? I don't know. However, be watching because there will be announcements. And, you can always be watching my pages and my shows because as soon as I know, I will be sharing it out.
Right. And it goes without saying, there's a lot that you have to do in order to really get out there and win it. It wasn't just, right? It wasn't just like, hey, this is what I want to do. And, it's a really great thing. So, okay, you work nonstop, like 20 hours a day, every day for months on end.
Let me ask you a question, Tamara. I know how busy you are, and I know how dedicated you are. I know that at 5 o'clock Central Time on a Saturday morning in Texas is 3 o'clock your time on the Pacific Coast.
Yeah.
So I know you're like the Energizer Bunny. You just keep on going. But what do you do to relax away from all of the things that you do?
That's a good question. I will say this is that when you're doing what you love, there's not like a turn off switch and then you're relaxing. I will change things up. Like and I love to learn. I love to be creative. And so if I'm doing one thing and there's some kind of a block or something, then what I'll do is I don't stop, if you will, working. I'll change it up. And I've got plenty of brands that I'm working on right now and working with a lot of different teams. So I'll figure out, okay, where am I needed right now? And then I'll go over there and work. And it always seems to be this miracle of, oh, now I understand why there was a block over here. I was meant to be over here. And what a gift of the moment, which is we call present today. That present was my gift of that moment in time. And so then I have a miracle that can take place. Plus, I have been learning how to do film editing, and I'm realizing I love it. I'm really having fun with it. And she goes fishing. Helene, you are so funny. Yeah, I have. That's a joke because there's been only a couple times that I've put up on my brands. I've gone fishing, and that has been that I just really need a mental health day, which is not very often. But I will say this is that when you feel called to something and you really believe to your tiptoes that it's something that your whole being is about, I believe that you're called to it because you're meant to be doing it. And if you're meant to be doing it, you're going to be gifted in those moments. And I'm always finding so much joy. I mean, getting to know you two and so many of the people that I know so many amazing people, and I love to get to know, my friends and my buddies, and really get to know who you are and what your stories are and how you are service heroes, because we all have a service hero inside of us. And you both have been featured a couple times on the Service Hero Show because of the work that you do for so many. And that's what I want to know too. I want to know, what is it that drives good people to be so inspiring? Because then you both are inspiring others. It's just like this show. That's why I was like, okay, what do you want to do with this, Jim? That was the discussion. It was like, what do you want to do with this? You've stumbled along something that we need right now. We need these messages of inspiration and hope out there right now. What do you want to do with this? And how can you share these stories out there? Because again, that one person, even though, that's just the beginning of the dominoes, because the dominoes touch other dominoes. So we're never truly alone in my book. However, it starts somewhere. Right, exactly. Yeah.
I tell you, we've had Tamara on our radio show, Your Future Is Now. It's on TogiNet Radio on Fridays. And we started that show April the 5th of 2019. And because, Donna, you've been on there a couple of times. You've been a host on there, co-host with me with Marty Haggard, our buddy. And Tamara's been on there 2 or 3 times, I know. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the same all the way around. When you have quality people like that on your show, they're going to make you look good. And in July of this year, now we started now April of 2019. In July 2020, we surpassed 5 million in downloads. And people ask me, Jim, how did you do it? Well, I don't really know. And it's all because of the quality people and the information. We call it infotainment, because people want to be entertained, but they want to learn something too that brings value in their life. And Donna, I tell you right now, you and I working together has really been a blessing, because it was just meant to be. I mean, I don't remember exactly how the conversation started. I don't know if you drafted me or if I drafted you or we drafted each other.
Well, I think we sort of drafted each other after you asked me to be a co-host on your show with Marty Haggard.
Yeah, because you drafted me to be.
I did.
Drafted me to be on your show.
Yeah. My co-host. Yeah, and we just had such great energy. And the beautiful thing is, just like with Tamara, this is heartfelt. This is about connecting and being able to help people. And yes, Jim and I do this TV show, and we are so blessed. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Aaron. But it's more than that. If somebody needs something and they say, well, I think I saw it on a show, but I can't find it, reach out on our email and let us help you connect with that person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'd like to share with the folks out there is that by looking at Tamara and Donna and myself, we just came together with a common cause, a common heart. And when you get people like that helping you, like these two lovely ladies helped me, it's just a win-win situation, because that energy just vibrates and it just blows down barriers that you might be thinking, how can I do this? How can I do that? Don't worry about that. Associate yourself with people of like mind and like heart. Game over. And it's not right. And it's not really about the competition, right? It's not about it's not, there's not competition. It's about lifting other people up. Lifting them up and spreading what I like to term in my business, ROE, your return on energy. Because when you give, you get 1,000-fold back. Your energy comes back.
Right. Sure does. I'd like to add to that because with the Impactor, here it was a race against time, not against each other. In fact, so much so that many of the impactors that you quote unquote I ran against, if you will, it wasn't running against. They actually then joined me with, and they're in leadership now with the nonprofit, the 501c3, the buddies. And so, you know, I can name, I mean, in fact, one of them that was on the stage, the top 5, is now my vice president. One of them was my leader over social media this last for the Tour of Love. And, you know, others within the Impactor contest, if you will, have done everything from, you know, assisting with this, helping with that, volunteering with this, being a sponsor. I mean, it's been, this is where, when you have, like you were saying, good people, like-minded people with a passion, with a purpose, that really see it. It is not a competition, because for my profession, I don't talk about this often, but my profession way back in the day, a couple of lifetimes ago, was that I was a headhunter, a recruiter, a consultant to businesses. And I would help people also, you know, on the flip side, I would help the candidate to get ready for that interview. And the thing that people really sometimes, they don't always grasp, but yet it's so true, is that the three of us could all be saying the same thing. We could say the same words. And that employer is only going to hear one person of the three of us and those words, because it's going to be the inflection, it's going to be the energy, it's going to be just everything about it. And so we are really never in competition with each other. No. And that's the thing we need to really understand, it is that our frequency, our mission, our purpose, our passion is going to be felt by those that are intended to feel it right now, and that we can actually help. And that's why we need so many messages of inspiration and hope shared.
Absolutely. One of the things that we had Marty Haggard on our show a couple of weeks ago, and Marty Haggard, he shared this on both of the radio shows that Donna and I were on, but also I asked him to share that with the TV audience. And that is that musicians back in the 60s and 70s, they helped each other. And one of the greatest stories that he shared with us was about Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell was a session musician, and his dad already had 4 or 5 hit records by 1967, #1 hit. So he's already a star. They were both signed to Capitol Records. And my point being is that Glenn says, hey, I made this record, but Capitol's not doing anything with it. And you entrepreneurs, listen up. Here was Merle Haggard, who already had 4 or 5 #1 hits in his hip pocket. He's already a star. He looked at Glenn and he says, honey, they do a good job, but I don't wait on them. I mail out my own stuff and get my own stuff out there. There was about 2,000 radio stations across the United States at that time. He told Glenn, he says, hey, all you got to do is come to Bakersfield, California from LA, bring me 2,000 copies of that record. I'm going to send it out with my record that I'm going to be promoting, which turned out to be a #1 hit. And Donna, I don't remember what that song was. I'll let you think, see if you remember what it was. But anyway,
inside, I know.
What was it?
By the time you get to Phoenix.
No, not Glenn Campbell's song, Merle's song. That's what I was thinking
Merle.
about. Yeah. I think it was, anyway, he slipped it inside there with a note, please give this a spin.
Stop loving you today.
Yeah, I stopped loving you today. That's what it was.
That was what it was.
The DJ spun it and boom. And the point was that Marty said back in those days, musicians helped each other because there was plenty of room for everybody. Some people love Johnny Cash.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about, well, gosh, you're going to owe me this or that for putting your record in here. It's just what everybody does, helping each other, giving each other a hand up, because none of us get through this world without a helping hand.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm going to shout out to the musicians that recently for the Tour of Love, we had quite a few of them that showed up for us. And they showed up givingly and lovingly and without expectation. They wanted to share the love. And so much so that 2 of them actually gave up some of their time on Thanksgiving and helped to create the anthem that I'm the co-writer of. And Victor Orlando played the congas and he helped to sing. And then Brian Thompson, he's like the next Kenny G. He played this beautiful, wind instrument. Mm-hmm. And we were able to put this together because they showed up. And then many of the smooth jazz musicians showed up, and that's what they do now. They actually do. They were talking about that, and I was interviewing some of them, and they were talking about how, especially right now with COVID, because they're not traveling and they have a little bit of time, so that they are giving back and they are helping each other. And you gotta just say hats off to these people. The short stories you're sharing right now, the people that are doing it in the here and now.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's where we can be inspired, because, here's people that have been inducted into a Hall of Fame that are giving up their morning, on Thanksgiving to give back for people that are affected by cancer.
Yeah, people like that, they look for ways to give back because they realize how blessed they've been. And Helene has just been busy over there. She's probably got typer's cramp. She said, she says, I love all kind of music, but do I have to like country music? Yes, ma'am, you do. That as a prerequisite.
It is a prerequisite.
But she said hello to me. She said hello to you, Donna. Then she says, have you seen my purple pen? I got to be honest, I have not seen that purple pen.
That's a joke. It's a joke. In fact,
I know. I figured that. I
have even an ode to the purple pen, and she actually is our first ambassador of the chat. And what we do within the Buddies community is we get together and we chat with each other. So that's what we really have an ongoing conversation through the comments, and then we have it led by people that are on camera. And sometimes we'll have open mic night where they'll come in, and at first they'll be like, oh, I'll never end up on that mic, I'll never end up on that camera. And you know what, Helene's been on. We do it in a closed environment, and so it's safe. It will never be seen on the public side. However, this way you can have community. And she does. She keeps us cracking up, that one. Yeah.
Tamara, if any of your musician friends need a good backup singer, I'm used to them saying back up, keep backing up. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back right after this brief message.
Hi, I'm Angel Marie Monicelli with Angel Marie Shines. And I had the pleasure, the honor to go through training for the 6-minute webinar. Oh my gosh, this webinar and how it's structured and how they teach it. Thank you, Speakers Pathway Coalition. Thank you, Don McGrath and the whole team for the 6-minute webinar, because you made it so simple, easy. And the way you lined it out with the outline, I can reproduce it. And I'm already getting the engagement. I'm getting people that are coming back that are saying, oh, I love this webinar that's so short, so to the point, and I love your products and what I'm selling, but then what I'm also, the services that I provide, and I can do any of this because I have the framework. So thank you so much to the whole team, because the 6-minute webinar totally rocks. Thank you.
I really love her commercials because she's a beautiful lady. All of us know her. And Angel Marie, I mean, when her parents named her Angel, I think that name comes right from the Creator himself, because she is just a beautiful lady inside and out.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Absolutely. And may I also shout out about the 6-minute webinar? I know that it is absolutely something that is a tool to be used. In fact, Bill Heinrich, one of the team, actually helped to create one for our tour of love. And I learned so much. It was so exciting, so impactful, so useful, so easy. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And when Angel was saying it's something now you can then learn from and duplicate, I'm thinking, oh yeah,
right.
I can do this. And and that is exciting. So I want to say, well done, 6-minute webinar and the team, because it is absolutely a tool that people want and need. I mean, really.
It is. Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. For any entrepreneur out there who is having, issues, this is the tool that you need to generate so much buzz in your business, and it will come back to you. It is fabulous. Quick, easy, and boom, ready to go.
Well, thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to put that up on the bottom there just for a moment, because this is really, it really is an honor to help people get their message out for an entrepreneur. And of course, Tamara, my goodness gracious, I don't know how many, if we were going to make 6-minute webinars for everything you do, we'd probably have a library of those things, because you do so much, Tamara, so much.
Do a decimal system.
Yes.
I actually want one of those. You laugh, but it's true. Yeah. Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I tell you, I remember that time we were up in Colorado Springs, January 2019, the Pathway for Vets event. Yeah. And we were staying at this real nice Airbnb, and the deer that came around. I remember the first night we saw them go like, wow, we got deer. And the deer are looking at us like, who are they? We're from out of town.
Yeah, that was an incredible experience. I mean, when we were right there, there was I was lucky enough to be one of the speakers for that event. And there it was. We only had a pane of glass between ourselves and nature. Yeah. And that really just brings it back to how important it is for us to open our eyes at every moment in time. People could be like, okay, yeah, I'm laser focused. I'm getting ready for this event. We have this event. We have media that we need to do. We have this and this and that. And yet, right outside the door or right outside the window pane, where the desk was, where we were all kind of working, were these amazing animals coming to us and saying, hey, we're glad you're here. Yeah. And we did. We took the moments in time because there's healing in those moments. A gift of the present, and they can be, you never know when those nuggets are going to show up. And so even as focused and as many brands as all brands lead back to the buddies, but yeah, there's quite a few of them. And yet I really do try to have, not to be so laser focused that I don't see the deer. I don't, I want to be able to see the beautiful moon, or the, whatever it may be, the gift that we're being given.
I remember that morning.
Your energy.
Yeah. Very true. I remember that morning we got up, it was bright and early, and it's before the sun even came up. We're up on a mountain, folks. We're on the top of a mountain, and we were able to look down into the valley and see the lights and all that. And we're drinking coffee, and that was just a very relaxing, good, wholesome time there. My goodness, I really enjoyed that time that all of us were up there at the Airbnb, and we had a wonderful time together because, it's just, we really clicked as a family. And that'll never change. And I'm very blessed in that regard. And it's just so wonderful to be able to, to know both of you and be associated with you. And Donna's my cousin by
proxy.
Yeah.
By proxy.
Yeah, I called it. You may not have heard this story. Some of the other folks out there watched the show, but we were on our way to Phoenix, and I don't remember what the deal was, but I suppose I had to call her about something. And I picked up her phone and I dialed it, and I'm driving down the road, and she answers. She kind of answered kind of reluctantly, like, hello. And I says, hey, Donna, how you doing? She says, fine. Who's this? I said, this is your long lost cousin. And she knew immediately I was lying right there. And from then on, we've been known as calling each other cousin because we're family. But the reason she knew I was lying, ladies and gentlemen, because she's Donna, you tell the story about your relatives there.
I only have, my mother was the only child, and my dad had one sister, so I only had 3 first cousins.
Yep. But since then, we've been cousins, we've been family, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, you need to find a family on a virtual family, because with the way things are right now, you need to reach out, because we're social creatures. Do not live in solitary confinement. If you're depressed, if you are facing a health issue, reach out, because Tamara, at your Chemo Buddies for Life, you go to that website there and get it. And let me put up this one here. This is your email address at ch4l.org, that website.
Yeah.
People can get a journal, excuse me.
Right. Yeah. In fact, right here, the taller one of the two, the celebration journal. Yes. If you go to the site, you don't even have to sign up, and it's free to sign up. However, you can just ask for the celebration journal. You can also, on my website, you don't even have to go to the cb4l.org website if you want the celebration journal. You can just go to the tamaralhunter.com website and go to that page, the cb4l.org page, and it's right there. Because and it's a PDF. You'll get an immediate PDF when you sign up. And our buddies, though, we do have a situation where we had one of our buddies donate actually printed celebration journals, so that when we have new buddies that now come, we can send them as a welcome gift to a celebration journal of their own that's already printed out and ready to go. Because the whole idea of the celebration journal, and some people are like, celebration journal on cancer, really? What? And I'm like, yes, because we have our eyes completely open. We understand what we're dealing with. However, each day that we are alive is a day that we can celebrate, and everything that we go through in life we can learn from. And so we do believe in humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love, is what we say. In fact, that's in the song that was written. We also believe in chocolate days. That's the day that you don't really want to show up, that you're feeling like, and you can call a chocolate day every once in a while. People are like, chocolate and cancer. Well, it doesn't have to mean that you eat chocolate. It was just, we call it a chocolate day. And there's a story behind that. Also, we liken it. I wrote most of it. And I use the metaphors from The Wizard of Oz. Many people utilize that story because it really teaches on so many different levels. And the whole idea that, the tornado takes you away into a whole land of Oz. It's a whole place, and then you go the yellow brick road and you're looking for your buddies. You're finding buddies along the way. And then in the end, what happens? You click your toes or feet, and then you realize that you really wanted to be home all along. And that's the healing within ourselves, healing with buddies, and healing within community. Because, you look at the Munchkins, you look at the wizard in his, gold, Emerald City, you look at all of it and you can say, okay, yeah, today, yeah, tornado's on its way. Tornado's on its way. I'm going in the root cellar. Okay, chocolate day. You're probably entitled, okay.
Yeah. Tamara, I love that you have a celebration journal, because I have to say this real quick. I don't feel, I do energy coaching, and I don't feel that on a whole, even before COVID, okay? But now, especially with COVID and most of us are shut in so much, that we don't celebrate the little things in our life enough. We don't say, wow, great job, Donna. And it's our words. Our words can give us energy, or they can take it away. So, one of the things I do, instead of saying, well, that was stupid, because we all do dumb things every now and then, but it's really derogatory, even that way. So I say, well, aren't you a dodo bird? Because a dodo bird was a real thing, but it's not derogatory,
Right.
and so you have to change the way you look at things, so the way you look at things change, right? So I love your celebration journal.
Thank you. I want to add to that because there is so much power in those words. And yes, Helena's saying, for me, chocolate. Okay, there you go. You know, it's a choice. And the whole idea here is that even in the celebration journal, it does talk about the storm, and it's how did I get here? It's the very beginning of it, and gratitude is talked about too. And in it, I'm brutally honest in it, and I won the side effect award, my doctor said, you know, and so I lost my voice. I had, yucky. However, with that said, I every day would say, I'm grateful for, and I would come up with the things I was grateful for. And when I did, I always felt better. And I realized how lucky I was. How lucky I was, because when I was able to say, I'm grateful for clean water. Well, do you know how many people in the world do not have clean water?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know, and when you start really looking at this and you start looking at it, and I knew from the very beginning I was going to be okay. I knew it. I was going to live and I would be okay. I had no question. I knew it. What it would look like, I didn't know, but I was okay with it. I knew I would be okay and I would live. Same thing with the impactor. I kind of got involved in a while. Others have been involved. I was on the last page and everything. And what did I do? I was actually kind of annoying there for a while, because every day I would go out there and what did I say? I am the next impactor. There was no hesitation in my voice. There was no doubt in anybody's mind, even though they could go to the website and I may have been in last place at the moment. It didn't matter. It's the intention and it's the belief, and everything else works out. And so if I can encourage anything for anybody watching right now is, you know, like you were saying about the power of words and the power of intention and the power of being inspired. If I can inspire you to start watching your language and then get some quarters. Well, get some quarters, get a roll of quarters and get a mason jar or something, and then put a sign out and then say that you're going to put a quarter in for every time you say something derogatory, every time that, and you can reutilize the quarters. You don't have to give them to someone else, but I want you to see this as an exercise, a practice. And every time you talk about yourself negatively, every time you, even inside your mind, I want you to be honest and put a quarter in there.
That's when it's most dangerous, when it's inside your mind and you're not saying it out loud, because when we say it out loud, we are giving it out there. But when we're in our own head, that's when it really holds inside of our body, and it chemically reduces your energy.
That's like leaving the lights on in your car and going to bed at night. You know, I mean, you're not going to wake up in the morning with a dead battery. Because one of the things that I went through, I don't so much anymore, was all the things that I wanted to get done on my got to do today list. I never gave myself credit. I always looked at what I didn't get done, rather than give thanks for what I did get done.
Celebrate,
And the other thing I learned to give thanks for is realize that it'd be there tomorrow, because no one would come in and steal it from me.
I love it. And
I also, and I think that we need to give ourselves grace. We don't give ourselves enough grace to say, you know what? I had all of this stuff to do on my list. I had 15 things on there, and it was too much. It was too much for me for one day. So I need to give myself grace and learn to spread that list out a little further. Because when you do that, you raise your energy and you feel better because you've accomplished something, rather than give yourself a list this long and you can't get it all done.
Exactly. And in fact, I want to say thank you for sharing that, Donna, because people ask, how do I do as much as I do and keep the energy up that I do? It is because of that. And Jim will even attest to this. He knows, he's worked with me before, and I will do what I can do. And then I do not feel guilty about the things that I cannot do right now. However, will it still remain unless I let it go? Yes, it will. And will I get to it? I will. And I always do. However, will it be fast? Maybe not. Maybe it will. Just depends on the other things. And so you need to be realistic about it and give yourself that grace. I love it. And I want to recognize Helene is saying that because of our program, that she got through her cancer and her radiation, that was a really tough go for her. And she's come out publicly to talk about how our community rallied around her. And when she wanted to maybe even give up, she didn't. And we got her through, and she's now helping others to do it. And that right there is the energy that love is all about, and being there in community and with each other.
Absolutely. We're almost out of time. Got about a minute left. So I'm going to give Donna and Tamara a chance to say some closing words. I'm going to let Donna go first, and because the D comes before T in the alphabet, the way my warped mind works.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being on our show, the Inspiration and Hope Show. It is always an honor and a privilege to bring guests such as Tamara Hunter, and of course work with the fabulous Jim Grant. I can't say enough about these two people. So,
what'd she say? Would you repeat that again? Hey, family, come here. Would you want to?
Tamara?
I want to say thank you to both of you for being so gracious and honoring me the way that you did today. I'm very humbled by it, to be honest with you, and I'm grateful. And I want to share to the audience that never give up, because life is truly a gift, and the gift of today is a present. And this present that we've been given of today is our gift. And so in that gift, remember to share the love, the humor, the hope, the heart, the hugs, and a whole lot of love. And if you are not feeling the love and you need help, reach out, because there are so many there for you, including myself, including our community, and throughout the world. There you go.
Yeah, you're so right, Tamara, and thank you so much for being on our show, and thank you for all the help that you've been instrumental in bringing this show to the E360 TV network, because if it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't be here. And that's a classic example of how friends help friends and people help each other. And when you do that, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, number one, you'll never run out of things to do. Number two, the energy would just keep coming and keep energizing you. Plus, you will enjoy life.
Oh, yeah.
How many people do you know in your life, or you met in your life? Maybe you might be this person. You're just not happy and excited and enjoying life. You owe that to yourself, to enjoy life. Love yourself first, then you can love others. And share that love, because, go ahead, Donna.
I was just going to say, the world needs you at your very best.
Oh, yeah, it sure does. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time, and if not, I'm going to see the hook come in and yank me off here. But thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I got to salute you. You're in my heart, girl. You'll always be Tamara Sue to me. And Donna, thank you for being with us today. And I'm Jim Grant. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.